Hello everybody, welcome to Kanushi's Corner. For this episode, we are going to be looking at the Godzilla card game starter decks. Also a little bit how to play the game, so sit right back and let's get into it. So both of these come with quite, everything you need to play really. You could pick up two of the same one, two different ones. I'll let you decide that after you watch the video. So we've got the main decks here, but the main decks come with 50 cards, your 4 monster cards that you need, and 6 rage cards that you may or may not need. So far, after some playing, the red deck seems to use rage a lot more. Those are going to play manual, paper manual, and a booster pack from the Godzilla vs. Godzilla set that also came out alongside these. All cards are exclusive to this product, allegedly, according to the highlights on the back. And this is first edition down here to the bottom, which leads me to believe that they will reprint these. It does say somewhere on here. There's something, yeah, cards included in this product may be reprinted or distributed again in the future. Some of the included cards may be replaced with parallel versions, so you could get like super shinies. I don't know if there's like a all parallel version. If there is, and let me know in the comments if you got one. Heck yeah, good for you. Let me show me some pictures. I'd love to see that. And there's no guarantee that specific rarities of cards will be included in each box or carton. I guess that has to go with the booster pack. We played a game, learned it, had a lot of fun, and have enjoyed them. I bought a couple of them so that way we could maybe play. If we want to both want to play with the blue deck, we could do that. If we both want to play with the red deck, we can do that. And what's in them? They're really fun, really nice. It comes with these the play manuals. Let's go over this and talk about them real quick. Talk about the game. So there might seem like a lot going on. New card games can be a lot to get into. You see this, you see all these words, you see everything going on. But I promise you, this game is extremely simple. I'll have a different video talking a little bit more about the game itself. But you got 2 win conditions: invasion or countering. And so you either have your monster card Stompy Boy, Stompy Stomp Stomp through your 8 zones and into your opponent's zone, or you play enough of these battle cards to where you have blown your opponent's monster up through all of the 4 ranks mentioned here until their 4th rank is out of there, and then that's it. You win through countering. You can play strategy cards and battle cards, which have effects and can help you win in whatever way you're trying to win. As you can see at the bottom here, we have some deck construction rules, 4 cards of each type. 50 cards max. You can only use one color, either red or blue, but white cards can be used in either one. Up to 10 invade 2 icons, lots of different stuff. Then we have the game preparation here. Shuffle your deck, put your monster cards, stack them 4 to 1, with 1 being the highest. Set your rage cards to the side. We usually just put them face down in the rage zone. That works just fine because you're going to be flipping them up and back. 6 is enough. But I think 3 was the max we had used at one time. So determine who goes first. Draw 5 cards. You're going to be drawing a lot of cards, so get used to drawing cards. This is a draw cards game. And then each player puts their monster face up in zone 1. You start the game by drawing cards equal to your opponent's monster rank. So if your opponent's at rank 1 monster, you draw 1 card, 2 cards, 3 4 cards. So you could eventually be drawing 4 cards at the start of your turn, which can really cause some really big game swings, and it really promotes playing those battle cards, blowing your opponent's monster up. On your turn, you have these 5 different actions that you can perform. You could do these 1 time and the use strategy card twice. Strategy card's easy to remember because you only have 2 strategy zones. Once they're filled up, that's it. They refresh at the start of your turn, as you can see here. And you can either stomp you with your monster to invade once, which is one of the 2 win conditions here, as you can see, victory through invasion. You have to do that. You can't just, at your end phase, naturally move forward and boom, win the game. That's not how it works. You can play a monster card on top of your current monster card. So some of them have exceptions, but like if your monster card is your rank 1 monster card, you can only play rank 1 monster cards on top of that, 2, and so on. There's a special mechanic though that lets you kind of break that rule. Of course, like every card game, the rules on the card proceed to break lots of the rules in the game to make it more fun. That's just kind of how it works. Rage, you can discard monster cards to gain rage, kind of an unlimited amount. That can be pretty good. This is where you're going to need a lot of those rage cards, but again, we got to kind of 3 max. The red deck has a lot more going on for building your rage and getting benefits through that I saw than the blue deck, but we'll get into that in a second. After you're done doing all this stuff, doing your stompies, playing your monsters, getting your effects, using your things, you go into the counter phase. You pretty much just count all of your little battle cards on the field, and if their number is equal to or bigger than your opponent's big stompy monster in their zones, they blow up. And then at end phase, you move your monster 1 zone forward, unless it's in zone 8, then it doesn't do anything, and draw up to 5, and then you pass your opponent, and they do all their stuff. There's no real like counter interaction. Your opponents can do things to you on their turn and kind of affect what's going on, and vice versa, but there's really not a lot of like, I'm going to do a thing. Oh yeah, well I'm going to do this instead. So not a lot of crossplay. It's kind of just you play your big stompy thing, make your big stompy thing do stuff, and do all this, and the opponent does that. You're going back and forth trying to evade each other and counter each other's big monsters. It's very appropriate for a Godzilla game. It's very, very fun. And as you can see here, during the counter phase, if your monster does get countered and is one of these zones, it gets pushed back to that zone. Battles get crushed. So if you're here and you have battles all in this area, it will crush this one, and as you stompy back up there, you'll have to replace all your battles. So there is also a lot of positioning strategy, which I really like. But the game itself, it's pretty cool. Maybe I went into a little too much detail there. I don't know. We'll talk more about actually how to play the game, like I said, in another video. Now, let's get into these 2 decks. We will start with the red one, the Godzilla -1 deck. Right. We'll save both of those for the end. And so, we already went over the rules, but they each come with little play mats, which are really nice and help if you're just getting to know the game. Also, the play mats are extremely helpful just for the fact that, yeah, zones are important. Like, this zone will match up with your opponent's 6 and 5, right? So things could matter for that. 2 to your opponent's 7 and 4, and so on and so forth, etc. But pretty much you start with your monster here, and then he stompies up through. So by the first turn, if you're playing the game right, you can even be a 3 or 4. The game can be really quick, can also not be quick depending on how you're playing, what your opponents are doing. But you pretty much are just trying to stomp up to here, then discard a card, invade across to your opponent, and you win, and your opponent is trying to prevent that while also doing the same thing, or prevent that while continuing to counter you until they win that way. And there's a couple of different other zones, you know, your deck, your discard pile, your monster card zone. I really like the stacking of the cards, because you'll end up with like, you know, your monster 1 through 4, but you've played a couple of monsters on top of it, so you actually get like a good little stack. It's like, yeah, that's my big monster card right there. It's kind of cute. It's really, really funny to see when we were playing how that all worked out. But yeah, here is the red deck. We'll kind of move the light in a little bit now that there's not so much glare. They come in this minimalistic packaging with the recyclable paper and just a little slip of plastic, which I really like, very environmentally friendly. The cards themselves can be a little goofy because it's like stills from old movies, but some of this deck I think is it kind of shows a little more of like I like the stylish choice of it because some of the newer cards look good. Anyway, let's go through it. So as you can see, this is the Godzilla -1. Really solid new movie, and all of these rage cards are going to be the posters for that. The rage cards are usually movie posters, and then you're going to get that one foil one with that cool kind of like line foil through it. I think it looks tight. It looks way more striking on camera, but in person it's really cool. It makes like a little bee on it. Anyway, yeah, that's super tight. And then you get these. These are your monster cards. So this is what you would flip over. You start with this little 6k threat. He's not much. You give him some rage. He's a little stronger. Then here you've got your tier 2 threat at 8k. Once the 6k is defeated, you flip this over. And of course, when invading, you get to have this ability, so you make him invade, and you can get these things. And they actually do stuff. And then here you have the next stage in the evolution. If this card has 2 or more rage, it gains 5k threat, so he can be extra big and hard to defeat, really helping you get to the end there. And then the last, skipped over it, last but not least, here's the 4-tier monster on this one. And so as you can see, this has the 2, so if you would discard this one, you get to double Stompy. You're not going to be discarding this like if this card was in your main deck. It's not. This is your Stompy version. But you can play this monster in the main deck. I think there's some in there, but 38k, if it has 2 or more rage, your opponent discards cards until they have 2, or until they have 2 cards in their hand when invading. It's rough, man, rough stuff. But I love this, love the foiling on that, love the way it looks. Really, just it's so stinking cool to me. All right, and so this is what I was talking about. So how these would work: you either discard them for rage, or you could play this like if this Godzilla was out for whatever reason, if you wanted to play this one on top of it, you could. It doesn't exactly make a ton of sense because those are the same card, but there are, of course, different red monster cards that you could have in here. So you get 2 of these, 2 more of these, but these are still good to discard to get that rage, and then 2 more of these, or in this case, the double Stompy. And so here we have, this is a different one, right? So this was a 2, this is a different 2. 12k threat, burst 1, so this is what I was talking about breaking the rules. You can play this on your rank 1 monster, but you're going to be discarding your, this off of the top of it. But when it enters, they have to discard cards. So this deck is very focused on making your opponent discard cards, hand-hating them to keep them out of resources, to allow you to advance your board state faster and stompy on in there. So you're just trying to clear out your opponent's hand, you're trying to clear out their board. As you see, this one has burst 2, destroy one of your opponent's rank 4 or lower battle cards. So you're trying to clear out their zone 8, because if there's something in zone 8, you can't invade them. And if you get their zone 8 cleared out, boom, you're good. Here we have Super Giga Godzilla with the burst 3. Also, when this enters, destroy all your opponent's battle cards in the same column. You just do a Hypernova Blast. Actually, there's 2 strategy cards in the back here, Heat Ray, that do the same exact thing as this. I just think that's appropriate because he's charged. We're just going to pull those out of the back there since we talked about them. Just too excited, you know, just too excited. Couldn't resist. It is really cool, like the themes, how this game feels to play. It feels good. It feels good. It's really silly. Then a lot of the battles in this one being the -1 deck, of course, you're going to be getting a lot of these ships. And these ships, you know, 2k doesn't seem like much, but you can put one of these ships down and then other things beef it up, like this one, Awakening Force, if your monster's in zone 4 or beyond. This one's only 2k, but it becomes a 5k. And you get quite a lot of double. City of Tokyo, if your monster card has 2 or more rage, your zone 8 card gets 5k power. And then if your monster is in zone 6 or farther, your zone 8 also gets 5k. So you could have one of the little 2k boys in your zone 8 and then this pumping it. And as far as costs go, like how this is a 6, if your opponent's monster is in the zone numbered on your battle, so if your opponent's monster is in zone 5, you can play this card or lower. 6, this card or lower. Strategies here, we'll get to some more strategies, but you have to be in the zone for your strategy. So you would have to be in zone 1 for this strategy card. Some of the other strategies require higher zones. So it's like halfway. You know, your opponent gets halfway, you start playing some more hardcore stuff. Like if your monster card is 2 or more rage, reduce opponent's rage by 1, and then when this card is destroyed, place it on the bottom of your deck instead. So You can get a little defensive, a little offensive. It's also cool just to see Godzilla on a battle. Have him out there as a 3K. There's another one with 7K. And this one, on your turn, when you play a monster card, like on top of your monster card, you can move this one around. And if it's in zone 8, it gets 8K power. And if it's destroyed, it goes on to the bottom. You can never really destroy Godzilla. Here you go. Strategies are very easy to tell because they are often sideways. You're going to be setting them sideways. They do also all say like battle, strategy, monster, etc. in the top right corner. But yeah, so you would have to be on zone 4 to use this. When your monster card's rage is increased, destroy one of your opponent's rank 6 or lower battles. So of course, you're taking all the battles out. For those, Godzilla emerges, looking cool. Love that shot of Godzilla coming out the water there from -1. What a good movie though. It was so good, so thrilling, so much strife, turmoil. I really love the message of Godzilla in post-war Japan and just dealing with the fallout of the disaster. And it's a heartwarming story, and also some really cool animations and how to solve problems. You know, how we work together to solve problems that suddenly emerge that we aren't expecting. Anyway, back to the card game. If your monster has 2 or more rage, search your deck for a battle card, name Godzilla, play it, shuffle, so this one can just suddenly get you a Godzilla. Operation, actually only get 2 of those, huh? Operation Wadatsumi is going to be having your opponent discard a bunch of cards, getting hit with that hurts, and you get 4 of those. And then the heat rays. So that's the red deck. Like I said, it's a bunch of just hate on your opponent's board state and strategy, and try to stomp your monster in there. You go stomping for that face. Super stompy. All right, now on to the Heisei series deck. So the blue strategy, again, the paper kind of gives it away. This one is more focused on countering and putting out your battles and ways to get out bigger battles faster and more effectively. And it's got this evolution mechanic, how the other one had the burst mechanic, focused on monster cards. You get the same play manual, but one thing I do like is this one comes with a blue mat instead of a red mat. So they have color-coded mats that come with them. That's another reason to get both of them. So here's that pack. We'll open that up at the end. Another reason to get this one is just if you prefer classic Godzilla. This has, as you can see from the movie poster here, this has a lot of really, really great callbacks to the OG. Well, I say OG, but like I'm in my 30s, so this isn't quite exactly the original, but yeah, we've got these beautiful movie posters here from the Heisei era of Godzilla in the 80s. Beautiful. Each of them does seem to come with a foil rage, so that's cool. Then here we have probably one of my favorite looking cards in the starter decks, the Godzilla. And with the first one, we kind of already talked about what the cards are, so this one I might be a little faster on. But we've got Godzilla. Here's your Form 2. When this enters, you get to destroy a rank 4 or lower battles. You can take care of some of them pesky ships or Mothra larvae. I love that all of these you definitely get in the foil, so you at least get one set of foil monsters. When this enters, you get to play some evolution cards from your graveyard out on the field, which can kind of help build up your board a little better. If you're behind, it's a good catch-up mechanic. Here we have Gojira 1994. Very, very silly looking, and yet so endearing in that foil. When invading, so you invade, you can discard a battle card and destroy all of your opponent's battles with a rank equal to or lower than the discarded card rank, which can be pretty helpful to also clear out your opponent's strategy. All right, here we go. Then we have, so this one has a lot of different Godzilla monsters to use, different monster cards with different effects. But as you can see here, this is the 1992 Evolution version, the 1994 Destroy version, the 1993 version. This one, when invading, reduce your opponent's rage by 1, which can be very helpful to kind of calm the tides. Then the 1995 version here, a 4-star for each strategy card your opponent has in play. This gains plus 5k threat, so it makes it very hard to counter. Love seeing the old school Godzilla. Very cool. Here we have the 1992 Mothra. So this is Evolution 5. Now, I might be wrong on this, but essentially what you're doing is you're searching your deck for a rank 5 or lower Mothra battle card and playing it by stacking on top of this. And then afterwards, it is suggesting to specifically go get the level 5 Mothra card with that. But if I'm understanding this right, you could also search your deck for other larvae and pull those out, because it does just say a Mothra card. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. I'm not 100% sure. But from what I can understand, what I've looked up, that's how it works. Evolution also is at the beginning of your main phase. So after you start, draw your cards, do all that stuff, then you go searching. Same thing with Batra here is the same thing. You're going to be Evolution 6, so you just go search for a rank 6 or lower Batra card and slap it right on top of this. But what it prefers that you would get is the level 6 Batra. So here's that Mothra. If this enters through Evolution, you draw a card. Here's that Batra. This has Awakening 6. It becomes 8k instead of 5k battle power. Both are pretty solid. I like the Mothra just for the card advantage that it can bring. Very helpful. The Batra also is just really strong in a pinch, trying to blow your opponent's stuff up and counter them. You need that extra little bit, and then hey, there's those Batra larvae evolving up, and boom, you got it. This one also is good in a pinch. If it is in Zone 8 and you are in Zone 4 or farther, you can reduce your opponent's rage by 1, which can help for kind of, again, quelling their rage and helping you meet those counter power thresholds for the giga threats that your opponent could be producing with their Stompy Boys. Then here we have Mecha Godzilla from 1993. Loving this. It looks so cheesy, but so amazing at the same time. I would love to see this one in foil. I'm sure it would look nice, all glossy and shiny. This one's really, really solid. If your opponent is about to win the game, you play this in your Zone 8. If they're in their Zone 8, he's going to be getting super buff. Or, if they're in a zone prior to that, potentially, he could also be getting buff. Because as long as he's in the same column, he's getting +3. And then if you're about to take your opponent out and they're at a rank 4 monster, instead of 5k, this is 10k. So Mecha Godzilla is pretty nice. Glad you get 4 of those. Destroya is another good one to kind of help turn the tide. If they're on Zone 8, you play this. He has 13k counter power. If you already have kind of a board state, but you need help getting there and you're worried your opponent is gonna take you down, keep a lookout for and try to hold Destroya in your hand if possible. He will do you a good job. And if nothing else, it gives you 2 Stompy points. Maybe you can invade them back. Only having 2 of those is like, ugh, wish we had 4 in here. But that's another reason to buy 2 decks. If these cards are only in these, well, boom, now you got 4 if you get 2 of them. You also get 4. Let me turn this sideways. Quite a bit of strategy in here as well. You get 4 of these. This lets you immediately evolve one of your evolution monsters, so you don't have to wait for that main phase, which is kind of nice. You can just instantly get that Batra or Mothra out. And here we have 4 Burning Godzilla's Rampage. Also love the art on this one. Would love to see this one in foil as well. Choose one of your opponent's zones. Destroy all cards in that zone and adjacent. So 7 is adjacent to 4, 6, and 8. Yeah, pretty good blast there. But you can only use that one if you're in zone 7 or higher. But it will help you kind of close out the game. Same thing for the Heat Ray here. Also love the art on the Heat Ray. For this one is the classic Godzilla, not the new Godzilla. Love the attention to detail there. But yeah, that is the contents of both decks. But before we get to the outro, let's try opening a couple packs. Let's see what that's like. And be on the lookout. I will be having a video come out that shows what opening a box is like. Opening a booster box of the Godzilla card game. So these packs are a little skimpy. They only come with 7 cards, as you can see. Boxes are about $50, and you get 12 packs of 7 cards. So it's a little, I feel like it's a little expensive, but then it's not more expensive than some other card games out there. So, yeah, I guess pick your battles. Here's a cool one, Gravity Beam. This is also a 2 Stompy. It's a 5 strategy. Your opponent discards cards until they have 3 remaining in hand. All right, that's pretty tight. Love King Ghidorah on that. That would look super tight in the foil. Here we have Bargain from 1968. Oh man, so this is I love that the white cards are kind of just like old school from kind of both eras. How can we get the am I holding it too high? Yeah, I'm holding it too high. Okay. Look at the top card of your deck. You may send 1 to your discard pile or place it back on top. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Little 4K counter power there. Oh my goodness, Manila. Oh geez. Yep, that's a good little rage reducer here. Counter power is pretty ridiculous. Oh, here we go. Oh, whoa, that 2004 Godzilla. What is that? A rare? Oh, that's a special rare. Oh, baby. Yeah, Godzilla versus Destroy is a solid uncommon card. Destroy all battles in zones 1 to 5. Just goodbye everything in those zones. But yeah, here we have the 2004 Godzilla. Super rare. Burst 2. When it enters, advance your opponent's monster by 1 zone. I don't, I mean, maybe there's some point to that. You know, you advance their monster, you could blow up one of their bases or something. That's pretty tight. I like the way that looks with the fire in the background. Oh, okay. And the parallel for this one is Godzilla and its son on Monster Island. That is very cool. Very cool. I like the way those black and white ones look in the foil with the glossy treatment, a little shine to them. If your opponent has a strategy card in play, you can play this from your hand with its rank reduced by 2. So if your opponent has a strategy, you get to play this one at a 4 instead of a 6. While this is in your strategy zone, your rank 5 or lower battle cards in zones 1 to 5 cannot be destroyed. That's a nice little, I like that. Don't mess with me or my son. And then the rage card for this one is Godzilla 2000. Love that. Looks cool. Not a foil one. Some of these can be foil, but this one's not. All right, on the next pack, let's see what we can get out of here. Barin, big old flying beast. Awakening 6, draw 2, discard 2. Not bad, not bad. 3K power battle. Oh man, your MBT, MB9 too. Good old Godzilla Destroyer. You may have any number of this card in your deck. Okay. We already have an unlimited number card. Noise. I haven't like looked at the set or anything, so I don't know. This is a common. All right. Awakening 6 gains 3K power. All right. Okay. I mean, I don't know how good this would be, but that would be really funny to just have a deck full of these, right? Godzilla versus Biolant. When this is discarded from your hand by your opponent's effect, increase your monster card's rage. All right, cool. Love a good love a good discard counter. If you discard this, you get 2 rage, and during your opponent's turn, your opponent's monster card cannot be countered by 40k or lower. Your monster card cannot be countered by 40k or lower counter power. Instead, it only moves as though it were countered. I like that. I like that comment. That's pretty solid. I wonder if you can draft this set. Here we have Fire Redan. This is another when discarded from your hand by your opponent's effect. If their monster is in zones 4 to 8, you just get to play this for free, which is kind of nice. Yeah, foil Godzilla Fest. Godzilla Fest Godzilla. I'm not. Fest Godzilla 5, The Great Battle of the Monsters from 2024. I never saw this one. Okay, so this is like really, really new. I'll have to go watch that. And during your opponent's turn, Awakening 4, if you have 2 or more battle cards in your zones, if you have 2 or more battle cards in your zones, all of your opponent's rank 5 or lower battle cards cannot engage with this card. Their counter power is not included. Wow, that's a heck of an effect. All right, and then here we have Destroya Aggregate Form. Okay, it's Evolution 6 to go get a Destroya. All right, oh baby, I need some more Destroyas in my life, huh? I like that one in the rear. Let's turn it sideways, see if it... Yeah, we got the cool double V. Love that. All right, and the rate. Ooh, we got a foil one, baby. Heck yeah, Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. Yeah, anyway, that's it. There you go. That was 2 packs. They are pretty cool packs. It's a really fun game. If you just like Godzilla and you want something silly to play with your friends, I'd suggest try it out. Well, that's it for the Godzilla card game starter deck unboxing. You got the red deck, the blue deck, and some cards that are somewhere in between from your booster packs. I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope it kind of enlightened you as to what's in these, how they play, if this game is for you or not. If you're a Godzilla collector and you're just looking for something fun that sort of feels like playing out the movies and it's a little goofy and it's not too, you know, it makes you think and you feel like you're making important decisions, but it's not too like mathematical or like it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't make you feel overwhelmed when you're playing it, I guess. Some other games that I play, sometimes you make me feel a little overwhelmed with all the numbers and all the counting and different things and different effects, and layering and the order you need to do things. And this game has all that, just not necessarily to the same extent. It's a lot more just, hey, let's get in there, stompy our monsters, try to counter each other, do some fun Godzilla-like things, and have a nice time. If that's for you, hey, this might be for you. But yeah, go check out the booster box video, go check out the full rules video, how to play video thing that I'm going to do. Maybe that'll help enlighten you more, but for now, yep, they look fun, they look silly. If you just want something cool to collect Godzilla wise, definitely go out and get this. I think you'll enjoy it if you're into some of the classic or newer stuff. But for now, that's all. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have a good one.